It's Murph again here at Scaling New Heights, and Insightful Accountant is visiting with various vendors from the showroom floor. And so I'm here with Shahram, and he's with Financial Sense. And I want you to tell our audience just what is Financial Sense?
Yeah, so to keep it simple, financial sense is everything you need to run your practice in one simple solution. When we looked at the market and the idea of financial sense came to us when we were seeing the options available out there, like there were some good practice management tools, but there was a large segment of the accounting industry that wanted something a little different, right? So like, and to put that in more context, at the top, you had some of these very powerful solutions that did a lot, which worked, could do everything they wanted them to do and needed to do, but they were too complicated, too overwhelming. The team may not have adopted it well. The clients probably didn't like it, or it just took too long to set up. And then at the low end of the market, you had like something that was simple and easy to use, but it didn't have a lot of the functionality. So it was easy to use, people adopted it, but you couldn't do the things you needed to do to build the firm and scale your firm at the end of the day. So when we started Financial Sense, what we said was we want to build something that has everything they need, but doesn't sacrifice the usability that, and we like to say this a lot, something that your team and clients will love, right? A practice management tool that your team and clients will love. And that's been the big focus for us since we started Financial Sense. And it's worked really well. We have over 10,000 accountants on the platform now that just really live by that ease of use. And another thing outside of the ease of use and like just the all-in-one, I would say it's community. So like we have a user community that we use to stay in touch with our customers. One thing we saw too was a lot of firms were sick of a lot of these solutions. They stopped innovating and they locked them into their platforms. They felt unheard, and they were stuck in this system that became outdated over time. So we use our community to not only like hear our customers and understand like what do they need, how can we build something that's powerful, something that's easy to use, which drives every decision we make, gives us that feedback loop to go faster and faster and build a better product and help them achieve their goals. But they also feel heard at the end of the day, and it builds like this connection that has really helped us do really well. So just for us, like Financial Sense, what we do and how we're different, easy to use, all in one, and community focused. That's what Financial Sense is all about.
Great. And tell us a little about really what differentiates you
Yeah,
from some of the competition that's out there.
yeah. I would say the thing that really differentiates us is like that ease of use. So like again, like it's doesn't take 2 months to get set up. You can get set up on your own in a week if you wanted to, or faster, right? Depending on how important it is to you, how much time you have. Um, the all-in-one, right? You're seeing a lot of firms right now, they don't want to use 10 different apps. They don't want their team to have to switch between several different apps. They don't want to have to pay for all those different apps. They don't want, it's like death by subscription, right?
Right.
They don't want their client to use 2 different or 3 different portals, one for billing, one for questions, one for requests, one for documents. Like that's a terrible client experience. They want a centralized single source of truth for their firm, their team, and their clients. So that's one thing that also separates us is you can get everything you need in one place for your team, your clients, and everything you need to run your firm. And then like just the community, like understanding what are the real challenges they're having, talking to them and understanding that and implementing that in the product, actually taking those insights and the challenges that they're having and the things that they want to see and actually taking action and putting that in the product, and not 2 years down the road, but next week or next month, like really having that iterative development cycle and continuous improvement and make sure you're making the right decisions by being there for your customers and listening to your customers.
Okay. So we're here at a conference that's full of accountants
Mm-hmm.
and bookkeepers, business consultants, people we used to always refer to as pro
Yeah.
advisors. And what are you seeing in the way of what really is piquing their interest, and also kind of the general feeling of
Yeah.
how the community is going?
Yeah, I would say one of the big things, and this kind of goes back to the all-in-one, like over the last decade, you've heard a lot of people talk about best of breed, right? You want best of breed solutions in your firm. One solution that does proposals, one solution that does billing, one that does workflow, one that does document management, which that became really popular. But now what I think you're seeing is you're seeing the reversal of that. A lot of firms are, especially like, unless you're like an enterprise firm, you don't really need best of breed. And a lot of firms are, now that they've done this, they're realizing it's inefficient. Is my team having to go to 4 different apps to manage their work? They don't, no one, you hire new people, no one knows where to find anything. Everything is siloed. It creates inefficiencies. And then on the client experience, like we talked about, now you have 4 or 5 different portals, and the client, you can't even get them to access one portal half the time. So imagine them wondering, like, where do I go for what? Nothing gets done. They can't get the info from the client to get their work done. So you're seeing like this rebundling happen, like all in one becoming a huge push for a lot of firms. Now, you can't have an all in one app for everything, but where it makes sense, like practice management, you want your workflow, your time tracking, your billing, your proposals, your client CRM, your client portal, document management. All that makes sense to live in one tool because that's where the work happens. You want your team to stay in one tool from start to finish their bookkeeping, their tax work. You want your client to have one seamless experience so they can get you the information that you need to get the work done. And outside of just the rebundling, it's kind of tied together. People care more than ever about client experience and team experience. Back in the day, I think a lot of decision makers at firms would just buy what made sense for them. Like, we need this, like reporting, this scalability. But at the end of the day, what people are also realizing is if it doesn't work well for the team and it's not easy to use, the team doesn't use it. Team doesn't use it, you can't get the data you need. Team doesn't use it, nothing, you don't get any of the value. And then on the client side, if the client doesn't use it, you don't get any of the value. So they want something that's actually easy to use for the client and the team, and that's all integrated together. So that's what we're seeing is a lot of firms pushing for that all-in-one and like a simple experience at the end of the day.
Great. I want to thank you for being here. And folks, we'll have an overlay that'll show you the contact information for Financial Sense.
Awesome.